Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Miller, and my topic is Eastern Christianity in Minnesota, the churches of Minneapolis and St. Paul since 1989. The focus of my paper is a group of 25 Eastern Christian churches in Minneapolis and St. Paul. As you may know, Minnesota is located in the north central region of the United States. St. Paul is the state capital, while Minneapolis is the largest city in the state. And together they are known as the Twin Cities since they are next to each other. The population of the metropolitan area is approximately 3 million people. During a recent research sabbatical, I worked on a project to better understand these congregations. By reading church records, making many church visits, and interviewing 30 leaders, I explored 5 aspects of Eastern Christian life in Minnesota. First, the cultivation of church ministries conducted in addition to the liturgy. Second, the experiences of connecting with new immigrants within these parishes. Third, the development of inter-parish interaction. Fourth, the development of community relationships with other Minnesotans. And fifth, the expansion of global connections. These Eastern Christian churches include 3 communions: Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, and Eastern Catholic. Now, due to time, of course, I can only share a few observations, but I plan to share more details and photos when we're able to meet in person for our physical conference. The slide you see symbolizes the development of these churches. On the left, you see St. Mary's Orthodox Cathedral, the first of these congregations, founded in 1887 with a building from 1907, which was modeled on the design of a church in the city of Omsk in the Russian Empire. On the right, you see St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church, one of the fastest growing communities, with a building purchased from a local Baptist congregation. Minnesota's Eastern churches have provided spiritual and social homes to generations of Slavic, Greek, and other parishioners since the late 19th century. By 1989, European communism began to collapse, and new immigrants from Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Serbia, Romania, and Armenia began to join these congregations. For other reasons, many Orthodox believers from Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, Eritrea, and Ethiopia began to arrive as well. These changes have created new connections between parishes in this state and sister churches across the Atlantic. At the same time, Eastern Christian communities in the state have been connecting in new ways with fellow Minnesotans. So this presentation looks at 30 years of change within 25 vibrant and diverse Eastern Christian churches in the Twin Cities metropolitan area. So I'd like to begin with a brief survey of these parishes so you know what type of congregations are here. We have 7 Eastern Orthodox jurisdictions which maintain parishes in Minnesota. The Orthodox Church in America, the OCA, supports 4 congregations in the area: St. Mary's Orthodox Cathedral, Holy Trinity, St. Herman's, and St. Elizabeth's. And these parishes usually celebrate the Divine Liturgy in English. These churches and priests are very active and have attracted a significant number of local converts. Across the United States, over 50% of OCA members and priests have converted to Orthodoxy from Catholic or Protestant backgrounds. The Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia, or ROKOR, developed a clear position of independence from church leadership in Soviet Russia. However, in 2007, ROKOR formally reestablished its connection with the Patriarch of Moscow. 2 local parishes of ROKOR are St. Pantaleimons and the Church of the Resurrection of Christ, which also hosts a skete, a small monastery. These churches celebrate most of their services in the traditional Church Slavonic language, since most members are recent immigrants from Russia. The Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the United States also has 2 parishes in the area: St. Michael's and St. George's, and St. Catherine's. St. Catherine's offers the Divine Liturgy in Ukrainian and English on alternating Sundays. St. Mary's Greek Orthodox Church serves Minneapolis, while St. George's serves St. Paul. Services at both locations are primarily English, but include prayers in Greek. St. George's Antiochian Orthodox Church was established years ago to serve immigrants from Middle Eastern countries. St. Stefan Romanian Orthodox Church and St. Mary's Romanian worship primarily in the Romanian language. St. Sava Serbian Orthodox Church conducts services in a combination of English and traditional Serbian. 5 Oriental Orthodox jurisdictions have authorized parishes for the state's Armenian, Coptic, Eritrean, and Ethiopian communities. St. Sahag Armenian Church celebrates the liturgy in traditional Armenian and offers sermons in contemporary Armenian, Russian, and English. St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church celebrates services in English, Arabic, and traditional Coptic. The newest parish is St. George's Coptic Orthodox Church. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church of Our Savior in Minneapolis worships in the traditional Ge'ez language and hears preaching in contemporary Amharic. St. Mary's and St. Uriel's Ethiopian members usually speak Tigrinya, one of the languages of northern Ethiopia. St. Gabriel and Holy Trinity Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo churches conduct liturgy in ancient Ge'ez and preaching in contemporary Tigrinya. 4 Eastern Catholic parishes serve the Twin Cities: St. John the Baptist Byzantine Catholic, St. Constantine's Ukrainian, St. Maron, and Holy Family Maronite. St. John the Baptist conducts services in English with Slavonic. The original members were Rusins or Ruthenians, a Slavic ethnic group from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. St. Constantine's offers services in Ukrainian and English, and both Maronite congregations rooted in Lebanon use the Syriac Aramaic language for the liturgy. As I said, my research explored 5 aspects of Eastern Christian life in Minnesota: the cultivation of parish ministries, the experiences of connecting with new immigrants within these churches, the evolution of inter-parish interaction, the development of relationships with other community groups in the area, and the expansion of global connections. So here are just a few highlights, and I hope to share more, of course, when we're together in person. First of all, the cultivation of parish life. Since 1989, most of these churches have emphasized Christian education and spiritual growth, both for children and for adults, with new programs of many kinds. Many churches have organized new educational programs for adults with classes, retreats, and study groups, and the number of unusual examples from among the churches. Second, connection with new immigrants. A new wave of immigrants came to Minnesota after 1989, often for economic and/or political reasons. For example, over 80% of the state's 50,000 Russian-speaking residents have come since 1989. Now, of course, immigration has influenced parishes in different ways. One group of churches has been fundamentally changed in recent years. For example, the current membership of the 2 Russian Orthodox parishes includes almost entirely recent Russian-speaking immigrants. The Resurrection of Christ Church began its life in the 1980s with an English language ministry, but now conducts all services in Slavonic. Immigration has strongly influenced the Ukrainian, Romanian, Serbian, Armenian, Coptic, Eritrean, and Ethiopian congregations as well. Now, Orthodox Church in America parishes have been less strongly influenced since they worship primarily in English. However, they have all welcomed new members from abroad and have responded to their needs. The 2 Greek communities have experienced the least amount of change due to the relatively small number of recent immigrants from Greece and Cyprus. Third, the cultivation of inter-parish fellowship. Twin Cities parishes enjoy an unusually high level of friendship and productive cooperation due to the ongoing work of the Minnesota Eastern Orthodox Christian Clergy Association, known locally as MIOCA. The group has welcomed Oriental Orthodox clergy and collaborated on projects such as a summer camp and a catechism class for convert believers. The founder of this clergy association, Father Anthony Canieras, who passed away recently, he also organized Light and Life Publishing, which was the first publisher in the United States of popular level Orthodox books in English. Fourth, cultivation of community relationships. Evidence suggests the development of stronger, more active ties to the local non-Orthodox community since 1989. One example would be the Byzantine Choral Festival. This takes place annually at St. Constantine's Ukrainian Catholic Church. And this event brings together choirs from several Orthodox, Eastern Catholic, and Slavic Protestant churches, and it receives enthusiastic support from local music lovers of all church backgrounds. Another example would be Focus North America. This is an organization which emerged in the last 15 years as the first pan-Orthodox organization in the United States to provide a compassionate response to any neighbor, Orthodox or non-Orthodox. The Focus Minnesota Center organized recently to provide assistance to neighbors with food and clothing, and several local parishes provide leadership, volunteers, and financial support. So Minneapolis, as you may know, appeared in the news frequently last summer due to protests and rioting in the center of Minneapolis. And the Focus Minnesota Center was originally located on Lake Street, where most of this activity took place. Since that time, it has moved to St. Paul, but it's been actively supportive of people engaged in a variety of difficulties. So now we move to the cultivation of global relationships. Again, evidence suggests the development of stronger, more active ties to the home regions across the Atlantic for all of these churches. And of course, this is an example of what we know as transnationalism. The collapse of European communism contributed to immigration, but it also served as a catalyst for many new ministry projects. And again, two national pan-Orthodox organizations for global ministry have formed recently, and they play a significant role in Minnesota. First, we have the organization International Orthodox Christian Charities, or the IOCC, and also there's the Orthodox Christian Mission Center, OCMC. These ventures have encouraged believers from a variety of jurisdictions to work together in relief and development work, and also in global outreach in Eastern Europe, in the Middle East, in North Africa, and beyond. Minnesota believers have actively supported both of these ventures. Another example of the cultivation of global relationships, and I'll close with this, Dr. Paul Gavriel Yuk, he's an Orthodox theologian, a professor at the University of St. Thomas, a Catholic institution in the city. He's also a deacon at Holy Trinity Orthodox Church. He's the founder and president of the new International Orthodox Theological Association, which has organized meetings with very large number of people in attendance. So thank you very much for your attention.